The River Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name. Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days. The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality and rose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image, and the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. The inhabitants of the land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus.
I wanted to make a video about this game. I've been playing it for like a few dozens of hours, and personally I think it's pretty good, but not without its flaws. So I wanna complete a quest and just talk about this game for a bit. So I have quite a lot of quests on my quest log. So let's do this one. This is... I'm not going to complete it because I think this is just the beginning. Basically, some dude from another city, from this city actually, so he asked me to bring a package to another dude in this city. Yeah, so, you know, it's from one end of the country to another end. That's quite a long journey. So anyway, yeah, so let's do this. I am here right now. It's still going to take some time getting here. So yeah, you look at the map and you think, oh, that's a huge map, you know. But the point is, it's not that huge. They show you the whole map of the kind of the game, but not all of it is actually available. This is the part that is available. This is like it's like a rectangle, like one corner is here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. That's all that's available in the base game. And then they released a DLC and you know, opened this area, the Bronze Desert. And that's it, that's all that's available. The rest is just closed. It's not available. You can't get anywhere outside of this rectangle. You know, it may seem like huge, but once you start playing, once you start getting into the game, you know, the size actually will start getting smaller. You'll realize just it's not that big actually. The thing about the size of the map is that it takes time. It takes several days to travel from one end to another, because there's no fast travel, and everything you do, you have to do manually. You know, and if you have a large team with many people on it, you will be traveling rather slowly. Like, my team is not even that big. But I have 5 beasts of burden, and that makes it slow. It could be faster if I get rid of the beasts of burden. I could mount up, for example, and I suppose that would make traveling faster, but you know, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, yeah, the map is not that huge. It's just traveling around it takes time, and it kind of becomes more tedious the longer you play the game, you know, because quests pretty similar in this game. You go to a city, take a quest, the guy asks you to do something at the other end of the map. You know, you come here, and you need to come here, and then back here, and then back here again, and you're just constantly traveling. And, you know, it would be faster if traveling didn't cost you that much, but, you know, it costs a lot of supplies. That means money, and you have to earn money to be able to complete quests, and that's make it really, really slow. And probably that's the part of, you know, the big world, but it's not that big in reality. If you have like bits of burden, like several bits of burden, they eat a lot of supplies. So, you know, you need to buy a lot of supplies. And the supplies cost, they cost a lot of money. Like at least 2.5 silver. And in some cities they cost twice as much, so you have to buy for 5 silver. One stack of supplies for 5 silver. So yeah, but it partly comes down to the size of your crew. I'm kind of traveling like a merchant and a slaver. So I have full cargo hold opened. So I need to get here. I'm going through this city. Another thing about this game is that people say it's really hard. Well, in part, that's true. But on the other hand, that's not really true. It's hard partly because there's no tutorial, there's no guide or anything, you know. You start the game, there are several tutorial messages, but they go away and there's no way to check them out again. There's only Codex, but Codex is just a law book, it's not a tutorial, and it doesn't say anything about game mechanics or shit like that. So I think that was their idea, you know. Player has to explore, find out shit by himself. Like I've played this game for several dozens of hours and I still don't know a lot, I suppose. This is part of the companion quest. I mean, this sorceress, she's chased by demons, and you have to fight them from time to time. It seems easy, but it wasn't like that at the beginning, you know. I now have 7 companions and 6 out of 6 deputies. So yeah, when you start the game, it's not that easy. This is part of this companion's quest. The quests in this game, they're mostly linear, so you go to a city, you take a quest, and the guy asks you to go to another place or city and do something there, and then you go to that place, you have a few pages of text, maybe an encounter, 1 or 2 with your companions, and then you go back, and that's about it. That's the gist of it in terms of questing in this game. And you know, it wouldn't be so bland if you had some agency in these quests, but the outcome is usually the same, you know. yes, there are skill checks, and you can roll some skill checks to, you know, escape a fight or bribe someone or do some other shit. But the outcome, the quest outcome, they won't change the quest outcome. It's always the same. This is, I think, another not really good thing about it. Well, at least the thing I'm not so fond of. It's just the lack of I don't know, player agency or replayability, because as it stands now, you can play this game just one time and that would be enough, because your decisions, they don't really matter that much. The decisions that you can take is factions. They are based on factions. So there are several factions in this game, and you can earn reputations with these factions. And some factions, well, all factions, they conflict with each other. So if I decided to go with House Darius, and it's in conflict with several other factions, you know. So if you go with this faction, you're going to be in conflict with a few other factions. That's basically the only decision made by the player. The rest is pretty linear. So I think, yeah, what the game needs is just a bit more decisions on the player side, like limit the number of companions, availability of companions, because as it stands now, you can just hire everyone in this game and keep everyone in your roster. Right now I have 7, but you know, I also had an orc, and he left. He didn't like me. I'm a slaver. I use slaves, and he doesn't like slavers, so he left. Honestly, I just let him go, because even if someone dislikes you, like, for example, this guy is disgruntled, you can just gift them something and their loyalty will go up. So loyalty is not really a problem, at least in a sense that companions will not leave you if you do not let them do that. So yeah, I don't think there are any restrictions in terms of companions. So I think this game would be better with some decision making in this regard. Like yeah, you have 8 deputy positions, but you can only have 6. So maybe restrict the number of companions you can hire to 6, something like that. Make some conflicts between companions, stuff like that, you know. But it's not going to happen, obviously. The game is said and done. They are going to release a DLC with 2 new companions, and those companions are going to be in conflict with one another. So you're not going to be able to recruit both of them, as far as I can tell. So that's the decision they should have followed from the beginning, you know. Another thing is just the static map. Well, I realize this is like heavily law-based and shit like that, but does it actually benefit the game? I'm not sure, because you start the game, everything is like closed, everything, you don't know anything about it. All these cities, I've just opened them up, you know, because the map doesn't have any location markers when you start the game, so you have to explore and find out the shit for yourself. Once you do that, you know, it's over. The next time you start another game, you already know where to go and where is what, etc., etc. So it kind of makes exploration, less exciting. So yeah, what I'm talking about, just maybe, you know, they won't do that because of the law reasons, but I think it would be better to randomize locations, at least in some way. I mean, not the law, like this Avernum city, for example, place it not here but somewhere else, but retain the law. It's hardly possible in this particular game, but you know what I'm saying. When you start the game, you need to select the your ambition, something like in Battle Brothers, but Ambition is basically the goal of your game. You can select wealth, or knowledge, some shit like that, or fame. So pretty self-explanatory. Fame is renown, I suppose. Well, wealth is money, and what else? So I choose free play. Free play means that I have no ambition yet, but I suppose that I will be able to choose it later on. So, but I would say that it doesn't really matter which ambition you choose, because you will still have to get the companions, get the crew, the fighters and shit like that, and you still have to earn a lot of money. So it doesn't really matter that much. Well, it does matter if you choose wealth, for example. You will need to hoard a lot of money probably, and knowledge means that you will have to get as many codex entries as possible. But it won't drastically change your gameplay style, because you will be doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's a lot of grinding in this game. The main difference in your gameplay wise is, you know, this thing, I think, the mount up thing. So it comes down to beasts of burden, whether you take them with you or not. If you take them with you, you're gonna have to trade. You're gonna have to fill that cargo hold, you know. And if you don't take them, you don't need that cargo. You're not going to be trading, you know. You're going to be riding fast, and you will probably need a lot of fighters and outriders to fight. You're going to take the bounties and some conquer contracts and shit like that. That's the only difference. You can focus on fighting and forget about trading, or you can just do more trading than fighting. That's the only difference gameplay wise, I think. And this ambition thing is not really that important. You know, maybe it basically indicates what you need to focus on, like care about money or do not care about money. You will still need money anyway, because traveling costs money in this game, and you will be traveling a lot. So not only traveling, you will need to buy shit, which is quite expensive. So you will need money for that, and buy shit, I mean, you will need to buy equipment for your companions, and you will need to buy equipment for your for your crew. There's standard armaments, then there's bronze armaments, and then there's iron armaments, and they cost a lot of money. So yeah, and this thing actually reduces replayability by quite a lot. So it mostly comes down to LARPing or some shit like that. If you want to heavily roleplay something in your head, but gameplay-wise, it's the same. It would be better to have some like different playstyles. Well, I think another roleplay thing is slaves versus workers. You know, you can just get rid of workers and focus on slaves. Or you can just get rid of slaves if you are such a good guy and high morals guy, you know, and high workers only. This is also related to your choice of faction. Like House Darius is like they like slaves. They give you bonuses related to slaves. And yeah, this is the Imperial faction, which is based on slaves and slave trading. Or you can go like for example, abolitionists. This one. It says unknown faction because I, you know, chose not to deal with them. So you can choose this faction and probably, you know, get rid of slavery or some shit like that. Get rid of the empire. But it will take you a lot of time. There are several abolitionist camps across the known empire territory, so you will probably need to get in contact with each of them and, you know, let them grow, etc., etc. But this is mostly roleplay. The gameplay remains the same. So I arrived at the destination. Remember the quest? I need to travel to Ogre's work camp and give the package to its overseer. So this Ogre's work camp is a House Darius base. House Darius is my house, my faction. I've been here already and I've talked to this guy several times, so I know him. He knows me. Well, I know he's a drug addict. He asked me to bring him some drugs, which I did. Now you see, this is a very classic quest for this game. So you get to this city, the guy asks you to bring a package to another guy here at another end of the world. So you go there, and the guy just gives you a slave or some shit, and you have to bring them back to another end of the world here. This is so classic for this game, it's just... yeah. Instead of that package, it would have been an encounter, a companion encounter, 1 or 2, and then you will still have to go back to the city. This is it. This is the question in this game, and you have to do it several times because this is not the whole quest. You know, it's just chapter 1. And some quests they have many chapters. Like this, for example, this is a companion quest. Look at this. This is like 10 chapters. And you have to travel across the whole world to progress the quest. It's fucking tedious. It's really tedious. And you know what? They know it because initially they launched the game. They launched this game and it had a time limit. So you choose your ambition, and you have like I think it was 5 years or something to achieve that ambition. And yeah, if you run out of time, then that's game over for you. And then later they removed that time limit. You know, they realized that the game is so slow paced that you cannot possibly complete some quests. You know, all you can do is just rush to be able to finish your ambition and ignore everything else. You simply run out of time otherwise. So yeah, besides all of this, I still like this game. I think it's pretty good, despite everything. And if you haven't tried it, you should. I hesitated, you know. I had this game on my wish list for quite some time. Then I went ahead and bought it, and I don't regret it. It's actually pretty good. But I would advise not to look at the guides and shit, because there's probably a lot of guides on YouTube. This game, I think it has a wiki, but the wiki is it's pretty empty. There's nothing there except maybe companions. But yeah, don't check the guides, just try to explore, to find out everything for yourself. It won't be easy, but that's what makes this game hard. It's not really hard. It's just unexplored. That's the difficulty. Once you explore, once you get the mechanics, it's not that hard actually. Yes, I've been here, you know, but I'm not going to spoil this for you. Pretty good location. But it's kind of strange. I think there are no new companions in this area to recruit. But there's a lot of quests there, but they are all like quests in this area. So even the conflict mechanic they introduced with this DLC, I don't think it's much that different from the existing conflict mechanic, because you also have to choose between factions even in the base game, so they just made it more like visible, some shit like that. You can choose between Imperial, Legion or the natives. And in the base game, for example, you can choose between House Darius and Abolitionists, for example. The 3 new DLC factions are these: the Chimera Legion, the Ahari, and the Anjari. This one is pro-Imperial. And these two are in conflict with each other. So you will have to choose. What they could do in the future expansions or DLCs, they could have probably, I don't know, introduce maybe sea traveling, like ships or fleet, so you could travel along the shores or maybe to some other regions or ports, stuff like that. They are going to introduce another region, but I think it's not going to be as big as this one. Anyway, I strongly recommend this game. Go ahead, check it out. Even if just to support the devs, so they could probably release a new game, something similar or some shit like that. Yeah, go ahead and do it, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about my channel. I mean, seriously, do I have to tell you to subscribe every single time? You can't do it yourself? Really? I mean, if you get to this point, manage to get to this point in my video, you probably like this shit. So you know deep inside you that my shit is golden. So why not subscribe? Do it. Just do it. Okay, until next time.